Hello, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Geetanjali. I'm from India, and I'm in US from last 1.5 months. I'm a Fulbright student, and
So what are you doing here exactly?
I'm doing a research on basically biodiesel production from algae, and it's process simulation studies using Aspen Plus software. So it's a kind of, you can say, biochemical engineering is my main area of research.
And can you please tell me more about your English learning experience? When did you start learning English, and how has this experience been for you?
Okay, so I come from India, and I'm from New Delhi, so which is on the northern part of India, and my mother tongue is Hindi, and I have been taught in a English medium school. So the medium of our studies has been English, and since India is a British colonized country, so yeah, and from my school days. We used to study English as one of our main important subjects. So there I started learning English.
And did you like this experience? Did you feel hostile, or did you enjoy this experience of learning another language, which is very different from your native one, of course?
Yeah, you can say yes. Initially I didn't really enjoy that because studying in English and talking or maybe conversing in this language was a different experience for me. Although I didn't find any difficulty while I'm studying or as a medium of English, but when I had to speak English as a language, I did find difficulty. So I remember in my 8th grade or something, we had a new English teacher, and she really encouraged us to even talk in English, where we used to talk generally in Hindi, which was our mother tongue. Mm-hmm. And then we kind of started having fun among our friends. So there I remember very vividly that I kind of started liking English as a language from my 7th or 8th grade when I met that English teacher. So yes, then it was fun.
So it was after that experience of trying to speak English when you actually grew to love it?
Yeah, because frankly telling, before that nobody really encouraged us to talk or converse in English in our day-to-day lives. So in our day-to-day lives we used to speak in Hindi and we were fine. But then that teacher came and she really kind of made it as a fun activity. So it was a compulsory thing for us to talk in English while we are in that class. So for that 1 hour of our teaching, we were only talking and doing everything in English. So it became kind of fun thing for us because it was a new language for everyone. So even after that class, we used to talk in English, and that kind of became a very good experience for us.
So did you have a lot of opportunities to use English outside your classroom, or was it just this particular class that you use English?
It was only just particular that class, but yeah, because that was the English basically class. But later we kind of used that teaching and that experience in all our other classes as well. And as I started to go, as I progressed from 8th standard to more higher classes, I kind of felt the need of English language, particularly to be more and more, increasingly more and more. Because I moved from, so my dad was in military, army forces. So we used to be transferred from places to place, state to state, every 2 years or so. So during my, earlier grades, I was in some other part of the country, which was Jammu and Kashmir. Then I moved to Delhi, and Delhi is a big city, and so people there are taught in convent schools, and they're always talking in English stuffs. So that kind of pressure again built up. So it became as a necessity for me. Yeah.
So would you say that English is important for every Indian person? It's really important to be able to speak English to move around your country?
I can't say that because India has so many languages. People speak in every other state. There's a different language altogether. So, but yeah, Hindi and English are one of these two languages which are spoken mostly in our country. So, if you even more than Hindi, I would say English is, I think, known in, like for example, in southern parts of the country, people don't know Hindi. So they would know their own regional language and English for sure. So it becomes important than as a liking to know a particular language, and for that English is doing that thing for us. Yeah.
So you would use English to speak to someone from another part of your country if
No.
they don't speak Hindi.
Yes. Yeah.
So it becomes a medium of communication in India.
Yeah.
And what can you say about the attitudes to English, general attitudes in India? Have they been changing, or are they the same? Just in general, are people encouraged to learn English, or do they feel that they don't really need it sometimes, that it really destroys your national identity? How do people feel about it in general?
I can't say that. I think people, because since it's becoming globalized, everything is getting globalized. People are moving to other parts of the world where I think mostly English is definitely being spoken in many countries. So I can't say about the attitude, but yes, it is. In India, it is becoming more popular, and people are encouraged more to speak English. I think mostly in the major cities, like metropolitan cities, many people are speaking English rather than their regional language.
And after you graduate from high school, what was your experience like using English after school? Was there much encouragement, or did you feel that you need to keep improving your English skills?
Yeah,
or
I'm still. I think I still need to improve my English. I'm not perfect. I don't really. I think I need to improve English. So it has been always been a learning experience for me, from my high school to senior schools and college, then now PhD. It has been improving, and I am improving it so that I am more comfortable to speak and converse in English. So I'm making friends, and like this Fulbright opportunity has given me Fulbright thing has given me a good opportunity, where I'm in United States, where mostly people are speaking English. So I think I have more chance of improving my English as a language. Yeah.
And have you had traveled to an English-speaking country before you came here?
Yeah, I went to United Kingdom, and of course there was English is their language. So
What was the experience like to be in Britain? Because I guess in India you were taught the British version of English mostly.
But even in Britain, let's say if you go to more of the Scotland part of it, their accent is different. So I remember I went with my friends to a trip to Scotland, and I couldn't understand their English, so I used to always ask for their pardon, if you could repeat that what they're saying. So their dialect was different, accent was different, so we had a little hard time, but then then we got fine with it. In Britain we don't really had as such a face any problem, because they were talking in English, and yeah.
And did you have you had cultural misunderstandings sometimes when you found it really hard for people to understand you? Maybe cultural, social, linguistic, or just pure linguistic misunderstandings, some funny situations? When either you felt uncomfortable or someone else you were speaking to couldn't understand you, and you just had this miscommunication?
I didn't have any such experience. Can't say about that.
And what are you still finding difficult after all these years of using English? What do you think you can improve, and what do you feel maybe still uncomfortable with?
I think, like for example, technically I can say that when I'm doing my technical research work and all, so I don't really find much difficulty in understanding things and all. But when it comes to speaking or conversing with people, so the accent and the use of certain words, I find a little difficult, which I think has a scope for me to improve my English. So that is what I've been saying, that there is a lot of scope, and I'm still improving, and I still hope to improve further, and maybe
And do you have this feeling that other people sometimes get when they feel like a different person when speaking another language? Do you feel like a different person when you speak English, or is just you, the same you as you're speaking Hindi and you're speaking English?
No, I do feel different, because when I'm speaking Hindi, so it's something which I know, from my birth. So I don't have to think before I'm speaking. But when it is English, so my mind is still working, and I have to frame sentences and frame something or other before speaking. So I'm not really, now I can say I'm not that comfortable. I still have some thought process going on in my mind when I'm speaking English. But yes, it is better than before. So maybe, yeah.
And how has your experience here been different from your experience in Great Britain? Has it really been different in terms of language, in terms of cultural aspects of it?
In terms of language, I can say here I find it a little easy for me because this English, I've been watching movies, Hollywood movies, so you kind of acquainted with this kind of language. But in Britain, I find it a little different. But this, I find it easier. For me to
So you feel
understand.
more comfortable using English here. And how much English are you going to use for your future job in your research? How important is it for you to be able to use English professionally?
I think it is important because I plan to do research further ahead. My PhD, I wish to pursue postdoctoral research, and US or maybe UK is one of my desirable countries, and they speak the language is English. So I think I'm fine, but I can always improve. So yes, specifically I can say in speaking. Otherwise, in reading and writing, I think I'm fine.
You feel comfortable
I
doing
feel comfortable.
this? And what kind of advice can you give to other people trying to improve their English, working on their English?
I mean, how can they improve?
Yes, how can they improve? Just feel more comfortable, because feeling comfortable is the key to success.
Yeah. I think making friends from other countries. Like, for example, if I'm stuck with somebody who is from, let's say, Austria or Germany. So I don't know German, she wouldn't, or he wouldn't know my Hindi. So then English becomes that common language. So if one can make friends from other countries, especially opportunities, trips like this that I'm now. So I guess you will definitely have a scope to improve your language.
Yes, you just need to make connections with people, then you
Yes.
would have no problems at all here.
You can make friends. You can participate in such activities where you have to speak, or maybe you have to take participation in that. So in university settings or something like that.
And are you planning on learning some other languages apart from English? Do you think you need other languages, or just you don't really need them?
I wish to learn, for example, German, because I had a little course of that in my college. I really liked it, and then I kind of started learning it myself after that course got over online. So I really like to learn different language if I have some time. Yes, I'm really open to learning new languages.
Yes, I hope you can do that too, and I wish you the best of luck while you're here in the United States and in your future endeavors as well.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.